God gave us the covenant to save all nations, tribes, and tongues since the beginning. In order to evangelize the world, it is necessary to proclaim the gospel not only to our own churches, regions, and countries, but to all of the world. All people who believe in Jesus as the Christ are not constrained by their circumstances or limits, but are compelled to evangelize the world. Disciples of Christ are bound to find other disciples. These disciples transcend the limits of their churches and countries and start saving other nations. Pastor Bermudez prayed not only for Colombia, but also to save all of South America. As an answer to this prayer, God allowed him to meet Pastor Orlando Garcia from Venezuela. Pastor Orlando heard this gospel and found the answer to his life. Pastor Orlando is currently preaching the gospel throughout all the 24 states of Venezuela. Our team had tried to find a person who would save Panama to no avail. Pastor Bermudez has preached the gospel in Colombia to the point where he was threatened by the Colombian guerrilla. The pastor had to momentarily be exiled to Panama, but that did not stop him from preaching. This led him to meet Pastor Kelsey and other pastors who are willing to preach the gospel that Jesus is the Christ in all of Panama. Pastor Lennon is praying for all of Latin America and the world. This has caused him to travel with us to Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Costa Rica to look for disciples. He has also traveled independently with his church members to Belize and Honduras. Now, it is not the pastor alone who is doing this work, but each of the church members are praying for all the countries, and they are the ones opening the doors to new countries. We saw God's wondrous work when we were out to seek the person who would save Argentina. We met Bolivians Elvis and Angel. They are both pastors who always struggle to find a message to preach on Sundays. They repented before the Lord after hearing the message of Jesus as Christ. These two are not only dedicated to saving Argentina, but Bolivia as well. Pastor Elvis has been away from Bolivia for 20 years. Pastor Angel, having been born in Argentina, had never been in Bolivia. Despite this, they tasked themselves with saving Bolivia and took steps to find the people in Bolivia who would save that country. Pastor Disama Judy is a young pastor we met at a Cuban seminary. For a long time, he helped his church through sports evangelism. He truly gave his life for the cause of the gospel. As a Haitian studying in Cuba, his prayer had always been how to save his homeland. After hearing the gospel of the Bible, he discovered why he had been powerless all this time.
Dios le bendiga, hermano. Estoy desbaratado. He estudiado mucho y he hecho mucho estudio profundo, pero hace 4 días que me he dado cuenta que no sabía nada. Y yo me estaba preguntando y diciendo, Señor, me ha tocado pastorear en el momento más difícil en la vida. Porque si me toca pastorear, yo no sé qué voy a hacer con la gente y que la gente no entiende y la gente se sigue apartándose. Yo decía, Señor, ¿qué voy a hacer con la gente? Y que esa gente se está poniendo más terso todavía. Yo decía, Señor, ¿pero qué voy a hacer? Que no quiero ser un pastor más, apagado un poquito por ahí. Y no sé. Y finalmente yo decía, Señor, algo que no funciona. Y yo, incluso mi tesis de licenciatura, que nos encargó el seminario Sendas de Costa Rica, mi tesis era desarrollar o implementar un programa de capacitación de líderes para la retención de los nuevos creyentes, porque no había otro medio, no había otra fórmula. Entonces desarrollé ese tema. De verdad, capacité a muchos. Pero mira, el problema sigue. A mí me van a crucificar. predicar? ¿Por qué tengo que predicar Jesús es Cristo?
Today, Pastor Yehudi preaches that Jesus is the Christ. He worked tirelessly to evangelize in Santa Clara, a state in Cuba. He's now in Haiti, praying in order to find the disciple who will also save his country as well as all of the Caribbean region. Pastor Disama is receiving God's answer day after day. During our conferences in Chile, we discerned someone who was paying close attention, yet did not seem like the others. He truly was guided by God to our conference. He was a pastor whose church is in Spain, was invited to Chile by a Brazilian friend, but initially had no intention of participating in our conference. Though Pakistani people stake their lives to preserve their faith, and every worship could be their last, most believers do not know the gospel that Jesus is a Christ.
Mi nombre es Salem Masi Sardaran y soy de Pakistán y viviendo en Spain 17 años. Yo convertí cuando tenía 16 años y ahora 36 años que conocí Jesús, pero la manera que conocí que Jesús es el Cristo, pero aprendí de palabra de Dios en principio, Génesis, y de profecía de todo profeta, y evangelio que predicado los discípulos y que habla Revelation. Para mí era muy nuevos, y es verdad que Jesús es el Cristo. Y Él es todo, Él es Salvador, y Él hace reconciliaciones con Dios y sin Él, y no podemos, no tenemos nada, más con Él tenemos todo. Entonces, en verdad, quiero llevar España, más quiero llevar Pakistán. Pakistán tiene que conocer que Jesús es el Cristo. Amén. Yo estaba aquí para visitar a mi amigo. Dios me trajo en este propósito. Conocer verdad. Que Dios bendiga grandemente.
We visited Pakistan through Pastor Salim. Important disciples were discovered in this country as well. God opened the doors to the United Arab Emirates and Europe through Pastor Salim.